Hey guys, Rich Morris with Stabila. Today I want to talk about our new Jamber Set. Our traditional Jamber Set came with a fixed 32-inch header level for your traditional openings. We're still going to offer the magnetic version with our 32-inch. The reason being, steel door jambs are more unforgiving. Welded frames, knockdown frames, you don't get that traditional whip that you would in a wood frame. So what I'm going to talk about is the value, the reason why somebody would want an extendable level. We know in every home size, perfect door size doesn't really exist. So from a linen closet that's 24 inches all the way up to your entry doors, it could grow to 40. So with that being said, I'm going to do the fundamentals of what the benefits are of an extendable level. The 80T, like I said, comes from 24 to 40, has a scale on top, and it's incremented. Shows you exactly where to lock your door. Has this little plunger on the back side, so you put your finger in there and you pull it out. It's a rubber excussion. So if I was to lock this in at 34 inches, puts the proper camber on the frame. So now this level is perfectly straight and in line. When it comes to the door opening, before we get started, what we want to verify is a couple things. Is the wall plumb? This is going to let us know at our top corners, is that frame going to be in or out? Do we have drywall where the mud is actually built up on the outside corners? Because of the way they hung the drywall. If they didn't C-cut it, we might see some buildup of mud in those corners. So I'm just going to go ahead and check my walls for plumb. Carpenter that built this one actually did a pretty nice job. Thank you, Rich Morse. It's actually perfect. So now what we're going to do is we're going to check it at the floor. The reason why this step is so important, this is the first time we actually set the exact opening size we need, king stud to king stud, prior to the jamb installation. So we already know that I had this set at 34 inches. So if I was at jamb leg to jamb leg, I'd actually be set at the 35 inches. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and verify the floor is in or out. If the floor was out, we would simply lay our jamb down, mark an 1/8 inch off if we're off an 1/8. Burn off that side of the jamb leg, whatever was out, stand up or jam. Now that we've done that, the jamb would be up in place. And we're going to tap 2 shims up these top corners. And now what it's going to do, it's going to stop the jamb from falling out. The reason why we're doing it this way, because our doors are not on site. And the reason why they're not on site, they could be acclimating for the job site conditions. We might not have our heat on, and our air conditioning, windows, doors, whatever the case may be. When it comes to high-end millwork finishers, the homeowner builder have decided to keep those doors off-site, keep them protected till we're done. We could already see this jamb that we use for our demos is pretty beat up as well. So here we go. So what I'm going to do is I've verified that. The jamb is now in place. What side of the floor was in or out? The jamb's up. So now I'm going to check that head. Being that we've already established what side of that jamb leg was needed to be cut off, we should be pretty much spot on. So we're at 34 inches. I'm going to put our header level right up top there. So now I'm just confirming that the head is perfect. What I would do now is we've already got those shims in those top corners. I'd shoot my 2 finish nails right at those top corners. This is where it gets good. So I'm going to take my 78-inch level, and I'm going to go down the hinge side, the butt side of the door, and I'm going to make sure that this is perfectly plumb and there's no bows to the frame. And now as I slide in my shims right above those hinges, I'm going to go ahead and shoot my finish nails right in there, all the way down to the bottom. Now that side is stitched off. This is where we have some fun. So now what we do is we've already set this level for 34 inches. So I'm going to put it in my opening. I'm going to put it on the side so you guys can see exactly what's happening here. You can see that it's tight, 34 inches end to end. What I'm going to do, I've already established that this side is perfectly plumb and it's nailed off. So now what we're doing is we're bringing the strike side of the jamb to the level. So we'd be sliding our shims right on in there, right to this side, tighten it up, and shoot our pin there. Now, remember, we don't have the door on site. Traditionally, we would go ahead and close that door and set the reveals. So now what I'm going to do in this case is I'm going to set my level in right above the strike plate, and I'm going to tighten up that door frame right to the edge of there. So once I get those shims started, I'm going to shim it from the other side so we don't have that twist like you would traditionally see when people only shim from one side. Get that tightened up on our level now. As you can see, I've just tightened up the level. I'm using it as a spreader is what I'm actually doing. So I'm going to keep that perfectly plumb so you guys can see what's happening there. I tighten up to it. Now, the indicator on my level is still reading 34 inches, so we know our opening's good. What I could do now is I could take a finish nailer and I would shoot 1 pin right there. So now what I'll show you is exactly how plumb this side of the jamb is using this process of that 80T as a spreader. So as I come around here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our 78-inch level and I'm going to put it right down the edge of this jamb leg. As I check this opening, we can see that we're perfectly plumb and there is no whips to this frame. It's perfectly plumb and straight all the way down. So the reason why we would do that is we've actually maintained your door opening in conjunction with your 7/8 level, so you know there is no strange whips or bows. Then we'd come back, of course, we'd case this door out. Painter could paint this. When our slabs show up, what we would do is simply grab that door slab and we would bring it right out. If it's a solid core door, you know they're heavy, so I'm using these door dollies by the door stud, and I would actually go ahead and set our door and put it into place. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Rich Morse with Stabila.